Greetings, dear ones. Welcome to this podcast. I just want to share very, very quickly just some messages that Mary Magdalene wanted me to share. For those of you who I know that some of you would be interested because it was mostly, and I was really, I'm so just beyond grateful that I was able to make it. So yeah, I'm happy to report that I was able to make it. Now I am drained is the word, not necessarily physically but spiritually. It has been a just very intense experience, and now we don't necessarily need to go to these places physically to connect with spirit guides or with high beings or with ancestors. However, there's something powerful about these sacred places, and also it was mostly, I want to call it like a ceremony, a ritual that I just wanted to do around this closing of a cycle. And it was very, very, very powerful. So there are a few messages that came through with regards to the divine feminine leadership, with regards to union, twin flame unions, and just some guidance moving forward. And this is today's message. I want to share some of these with you as well. Also, today I was supposed to share a pick a card reading with some Pleiadian energy, because I know we've been diving into some pretty heavy stuff lately, and the last months have been extremely intense for all of us on our wave, and I just wanted to lighten the mood, give some messages, some guidance for March. The video is going to be available tomorrow. However, I just knew that I needed to share this while they are still fresh, and also before stepping into March. Why? Because some of these things that I'll be sharing today, as I said, we are in the new earth. We are just vibrationally, we are no longer going to be talking about the same things. Our focus, our day-to-day life, our thoughts, our energy will be fully aligned to a whole new way of being in the new earth. Now, we're not going to talk about karmic battles. We're not going to talk about sabotage and the matrix and that kind of thing. It's part of your earth. We're no longer going to have to deal with it. And thank God. And so, yeah, we are closing a gigantic, enormous, huge cycle of thousands and thousands and thousands of years of separation consciousness, and of the dark agendas that sorry, there's just some puppy fight. Okay. And right. And now we are restoring our divine original blueprints. And we are basically anchoring in new foundations that carry those codes. Okay, new institutions, new systems, new societies that are in alignment with that frequency, with that high vibration, with oneness and with Christ consciousness. By the way, before we dive into the messages, there are three main messages that I want to share. But before that, I want to just explain a little bit what exactly is Christ consciousness. Now, we know, many know of it from Jesus Christ, right? We know, we talk about Christianity, which is not Christ consciousness. I hope that's very, very clear. That's just a set of man-made rules with an agenda. Christ consciousness for me is purity. That's what it is. It's our pure soul. It's living in alignment with that frequency that is not tainted, is not conditioned, is not programmed, and this is why usually when we refer to the spiritual to the spiritual practices like healing, forgiveness, the reason why it's very important is because we need to purify our vessels out of these energies so that they don't interfere in our lives. They are not stored, and we don't create a reality based on that frequency, which is only creating even more of that. And so this is how we go over and over and over in karmic cycles. So we've purified out of these cycles, out of the separation consciousness. We've cleared both our feminine and masculine energy, and this really the direct result of that is just embodying Christ consciousness or purity. Okay, now Christ is not a masculine term. It's just that we in religion we have only known the masculine side of God, right? The beard guy, Jesus Christ. But now the feminine Christ energy is landing on earth, and today I want to talk about that because it's going to be pretty different. And it's one of the questions that I had hidden in my sleeve when I went to the cathedral. It was, is the world ready for it? Now, the answer that I got, it was quite interesting. So, first time when I got there, when I entered the tiny room, I got just completely overwhelmed. The energy was just too high. So I went out of there and just sat on one of those benches and just started crying uncontrollably. Just like people watching, and I don't care, I just started praying, and then I went the second time, and when I got out, Mary Magdalene, she tapped me on my shoulder, on the right shoulder, and I didn't hear exactly what she said, but she said something sister. I think she was happy to see me or something like that. And then the kind of energy that I encountered was one that is obviously not captured properly in the religious nonsense, bullshit, scriptures, whatever. But it was a very I want to say playful, a very radiant, just vibrant, full of life. And for me, I repeat, this is Christ consciousness. This is enlightenment. This is, children are enlightened, right? They're enlightened beings. They're not boxed in, and they're not, yet heavily traumatized. And this is exactly the energy that I found Mary Magdalene in. And then her answer to my question was, she kind of smiled. And by the way, for those of you who find like spooky this conversation, it's this kind of conversation I just need to be the norm, because in order to ascend, in order to go from 3D to 5D, you gotta go through the 4D. The 4D is all about the unseen. It's all about becoming aware of energy, the energy realm, the energy field, spirits, diving into your subconscious, everything that is unseen is the 4D. And without when we actually, this is what we call shadow work, is when we ignore our shadows, that they're still there and that we cannot heal, right? But those of us who have been healing for freaking years, we have been in the 4D for so long that you were able to see what's there, and transmute that energy, because you don't want to stay for long in the 4D. And okay, so 5D energy is, it's going to be, we're gonna connect just as a part of natural day to day with high beings, and that's because we're closer, and that's because we can, and that's because we need to, because we need guidance. And because in the past we were just unconsciously looping around, and our ego thought that we know best, and we're just gonna follow our own map and whatever. That was, that didn't get us too far globally, collectively. So yeah, we need to follow higher guidance, pure spiritual higher guidance, and not some weird energies. So you gotta be you gotta be pure. You gotta know what you're connected with, and basically shield and protect your energy. Now back to her answer to the question was, she smiled. And it's very interesting, because my whole life I knew that I was here on a mission. I knew that, I had this like go-getter energy, warrior energy. And yes, we had to embody that energy during the spiritual war, during the karmic battlefield. And are they happy to see each other, or are they fighting? Sorry about that. I knew I was here to, okay, I'm on a mission. There's this higher purpose. I'm going to save the world, etc. Now, she smiled, and actually, instead of sharing about, mission in terms of, like New Earth purpose and things like that, although she did give me some tips that I'll be sharing with you as well, she mostly talked to me about being on Earth, about the union, and what a blessing it is to be with your twin soul on Earth, which is one of the main purposes of her lifetime and their lifetime. In the book that I shared, Dialogues with Yeshua and Mary Magdalene, Yeshua shares as well, like, one of my biggest blessings in this lifetime and purposes as well was the union with his counterpart, with his divine counterpart. And it's part of our soul growth as well. It's part of our purpose. And it's also one of the things that is, because it's going to raise the vibration of Mother Gaia just immensely, because this is what twin flames in union do. Then you're contributing to the ascension of the planet. So she talked to me about this, about actually, this is one of the stories that are not shared, and that's for a reason as well. We know, okay, separation consciousness, separation agenda. But then I got to ask myself, as I was on the bench and looking at, the altar and the cross, and why, okay, from all their existence here, is it just the last part that we got? Is it just that we want to keep perpetuating the suffering? That's also keeping people in a lower vibration, right? Why don't we have churches where we portray divine union, divine love, twin soul connections? Why don't we have that instead? Anyway, so back to the story. So she was and I want to share that the energy in which I found her is actually the energy that I had growing up, and I know that many of you will resonate. Personally, on a core soul level, I embody this pure, childlike, just vibrant energy and radiant energy. And growing up, I was just heavily attacked. It is a very triggering vibration. The reason why they said that, and by they I mean Yeshua and Mary Magdalene, that the world was not ready for the divine feminine Christ, is because, I mean, you can relate how the world responds to you when you're in your highest vibration, right? Personally, I know that I have been so attacked that it was not safe for me to be happy or to show my pure self, to show my, just live in an open-hearted, in an open-hearted state, and to share that energy, because, you know, the dark feminine, because I grew up around even family members who were just extremely aggressive towards me. It's a very, 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 very triggering and confronting energy. The real divine feminine, and we're going to talk about false light preaching nonsense as well. The real divine feminine is a very confronting energy, okay? And not in a bad way, but she carries the energy of radical authenticity and radical truth, okay? And obviously unconditional love, because you can only be in a pure state of being and in your fullest alignment with your truth to align with unconditional love. And so a divine feminine will never be the influencer on Instagram that everybody loves. Why? Because humanity is not yet ready to just, I don't want to use the word worship, but to follow that guidance. And so whoever is preaching false light and just nonsense around divine feminine, it's just know that that's not what this is all about, because it's there's a long way to go still. Now, what I was hearing, and this is not by no means this is not a message to, you know, get discouraged or anything, but I think it's important to see where we're at, because when I started, you know, I started just full force, full speed ahead. Okay, I'm gonna share my purpose, I'm gonna share my mission, and I was out there. I was trying to build these platforms. I used all kinds of social media, and every single time it wasn't working, right? I didn't get the feedback that I was expecting. And that is because it was my energy, right? It was my energy that was basically very polarizing, right? There were these people who were just strongly unwilling to open up to this energy. It was just, I don't know, too intense, too confronting. They would have to look at their own stuff, their own internal state of being, instead of projecting. There was a lot of projection. There was a lot of judgments, as we know, etc. Okay, so the reason why I'm saying that I shared a message saying that the divine feminine is not going to be liked or something like that. Now, this is not going to be in a negative way, but I think what Mary Magdalene wanted to let us know today is that we may need to learn how to pace and learn how to basically introduce ourselves, introduce this new leadership, and not in a way that is forceful, and not in a way that is, because it's going to be polarizing. It's not the point, right? The point is not to get out there and to, get into all kinds of karmic cycles again. The point is, first of all, to be able for ourselves to create a life that is joyously free of, you know, attacks, of not being able to be our true selves, right? And when we are in that embodiment of just freedom of being who we are, right, when we are stabilized in that frequency, then it's and the more safe we feel in that embodiment and in emanating as well, right? Because you can embody that frequency and still be, you know, in hermit mode, in isolation, but it's about emanating, okay? Emanating that out into the world, and for the world to receive it in a positive way. So the message that she delivered is, she when I said that she smiled, she kind of looked at me like, you're taking it too seriously, in the sense that I like this expression: if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. Yes, we are here to basically on a mission, right? But it's also part of our purpose is to really freaking enjoy our existence here. Some of us may never come back on Earth, who knows? But it's that goes first, as in, it's not the old Earth leadership, you know. You don't need to sacrifice like who you are or your joy for a purpose. That's not what this is all about. It's like your purpose is going to be an extension, because you are going to be a role model of what it's like to live in your divine energy, in your divine feminine essence, and in your freedom, in your unique frequency, and not having to feel threatened, not having to just basically being able to exist as a divine feminine on Earth. So that was one thing. Now, okay, I hope that the message help that I send the message correctly. And also, I just want to share that this isn't, those of you who can relate to my message, you know that I'm not saying this from a place of superiority or labeling or categorizing others. When I say that, it's very triggering. It's a truth. It's a reality. My whole entire life, the responses that I get from people, especially the dark feminine energy, it's just violent, and it was simply me just being me. That was it. That was simply the energy that I was putting out, and it was simply my authentic, joyful expression, and it was highly triggering. And this is what it does to the dark feminine. You know, there's a lot of projection, there is a lot of jealousy, there is a lot of envy, there is a lot of suppression of that, right? Because if you shine too bright, then, you know, you're stealing the light of others, which is totally the opposite of what really happens. When the brighter you shine, the more you can lighten other people up as well. But anyway, so this is the main reason also why the divine feminine was not able to be seen, because we could not emanate that frequency. Personally, today I prayed for my feminine essence to come back, for all my gifts, for all of it. Like, I'm ready to feel safe in it, and I'm ready to ease myself into who I really am. And I don't know why, but I just feel overwhelmed with emotions right now, because So many of us have like an iceberg of gifts that we had to hide, and that's no longer going to happen. So this is primarily the kind of feminine leadership that I really feel like we are the bridge. Our generation, our wave is the bridge. Okay, so we don't necessarily need to force things in the sense that we're just gonna sit on a stage, stand on a stage and preach about divine feminine. We need to lay the foundation, we need to lay the ground, we need to understand that it may take some time, okay, and that's okay. We don't have to radically come here and just turn the world upside down. We need to lay foundations, we need to inspire others, and it's just through our day-to-day interactions. Honestly, it's through your beingness. That is it. That is the divine feminine Christ leadership, is one, being confident in your energy and in your safety, in your essence, and being safe to radiate that and emanate that and let others pick up on it, and also want to be freed, and also want to be liberated by your energy. Okay, so that's okay. One last thing that I want to share, because I don't want to make this too long now. One last thing that I want to share. Before I was actually going out of the church, she said, one last thing that she said to me is, love your body. That was the last thing she said to me. Love your body. And we know just how many distorted agendas. I didn't want to use the word agenda again, but yeah, just how many just very, just how much suffering the feminine collective had, is under, and more so the divine feminine, because of all the because of not feeling safe in the human body, because of all the attacks, because of all the trauma, the karma, and all that stuff, because of all that pain that we carry in ourselves from all the lifetimes, and also from this lifetime. We know that is, personally being in my body, it felt like a painful experience my whole entire life, and it was through massive healing that I'm able to just be more grounded, feel stable, feel safe, not just in the world but in my own. That is I hope, oh my gosh, I don't know if it recorded. Okay, and what a blessing that is. Let's hope it recorded. And the last thing was about loving your body, loving your human vessel, loving your health. Just as basic as it may sound, being freaking healthy and really feeling good in your body. Well, I'm sure it goes beyond that. It's not, it's definitely, it's a very spiritual experience to self-care. It's a very, very spiritual experience. So with that, this was my experience of today. I hope this message resonated. Do let me know in the comments below if you had any breakthrough, if you have any questions. Of course, I will be taking a bit of a break from YouTube. I will be in what I like to call spiritual restoration for a few weeks over the month of March. I really feel like there is this energy of spring and the closing of cycles that we just gotta ease ourselves into, and just make sure that our energy is at the right place to start this new cycle. Yeah, I will still the sessions are still available, so basically it's pretty simple. So long you see them available, it means that I'm available. So if you feel guided to, and if you need support during this month, feel free to reach for a healing session. But other than that, we will be checking back soon. And enjoy the reading of tomorrow. It was some pretty high vibrational messages, pretty just very beautiful, very, very beautiful. Nothing like the intense heavy messages that we have been receiving up until now. So with that, I am sending you so much love, and I will talk to you soon. Take care, and bye for now.